Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the fourth video in the integration series. In this series, what we are looking at is the integration between the various UiPath technologies, that is UiPath Apps, UiPath Data Services and UiPath Orchestrator. If you have not watched the previous three videos, I would recommend you to please watch those three videos, then only this video will make more sense. Having said that, let's see the agenda for this video. In this process, we are going to run the process from the orchestrator which we have deployed in the third video. Next, we are going to test the input and the output arguments for the process. Post that, we are going to address the one of the problem statement which we have defined earlier by designing an app in the UiPath App Studio. And at the end, we are going to see how our app looks like in the app preview. Okay, so let's get started. To execute the process from the orchestrator, so I am logged into my community orchestrator, and in the last video we have seen that we have successfully deployed the process to orchestrator from the UiPath Studio. So I go back to the processes and I see under automation I have the process here. So this is my process currency mapping demo, and it is assigned to the sample environment. Once again, just a quick recap here. So we have three input arguments here: source date, destination date and currency, and we have one output value here. Okay, so in this video we are going to run this process from UiPath Orchestrator. So I go to jobs, and before that, how would we know that it is executed or not? So what we are trying to do here, so orchestrator will now connect to the data service and it will fill the data here, right? So as of now, if I go back to the data services, I have two entities that we are working upon, and both has 106 and 106 records. Okay, so whenever I run this process from the orchestrator, so UiPath Orchestrator will trigger UiPath robot, which in turn will go to this website, scrape the data for the source, scrape the data for the destination, and then it will pull the data in the data services. Okay, so let's see that in action. We have 106 rows here. This is already open, so we have coded, if you remember, we have coded to kill this application. So all this thing will happen whenever I run the process. So I go to jobs and I just trigger the process. But before triggering the process, what we have to do is we have to provide the arguments. Okay, so what we can do is we can just select the process. This is the process. Okay, and I go to parameters, and now what is the source state? So it, as of now, it is inherited from the package. So that means that whatever default value is given in the package will be coming here. So what we can do is we can always go here and edit the value. So I will provide here in the string, so it's 2020-12-11. Save. Okay, this one string. Now the destination date is again 2020-12-10. Save. And the currency, right? So we want the currency to work as euro. So we want to just know the difference for the currency euro. Save everything, and let me just go back to the execution target. I specify my robot, the machine which I'm working on. This is the machine, and let's just start the process. Okay, so if you'll see, this is executing. Bot has closed the IE, again reopen Internet Explorer. Now it will go to the historical lookup, put the first date. Okay, so it has put the date in the single quote. Okay, so that's already in form of string, so we have made a mistake. Let's go back here. I'll kill this process. Okay, so now you probably have guessed what mistake we have done, so let's rectify that one. I again go back to this guy. I select the process to this one, and if I now go to the parameters, now we should have not provided the double quotes because it is already treating that if it is string, we know no need to put the double quotes. Okay, so 1211, save. Okay, next, the destination we have to put 2020-12-10. So this is the destination date, and now when the currency For the currency we'll type euro, 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 and let's just save it. Okay, we go to the execution target, select the robot and start. Okay, again command is sent. It has opened the URL. Okay, now it will type the date. Okay, now it will select the go, and whatever the data is available on the screen, the data scraping wizard will work and it will fill the entity of the data services. Okay, so that is how the UiPath orchestrator is connecting to UiPath robot, which is running the Internet Explorer, scraping the data and then again putting the same data in the data services. So as of now the bot is querying it for 11/12, the first date. Now it will again open the same portal and it will click on the historical lookup. Okay, now it will put the destination date, hit go. Now again the same concept, entire data will be scraped. Once the data scraping is completed, so the bot will fetch all the data and put it inside a data service. Okay, so let's just wait for the execution to complete. So we have seen that we have 106 record in both of the data services. Let's see, after this execution run the count should increase. Okay, and we should have the output variable set to the output parameter what we have set in the UiPath Studio. Okay, so okay, let's go back to the, and we see the process is completed successfully. Let's go here and see the logs. Okay, so this was successfully completed and we have logged a message, this is available here. Okay, so this execution is completed. Let's go back to the data services. So I have not refreshed it, so if I go here and hit on refresh, you will see now I have 159 records in both the entities. So that means a set of record was added to the data services after running the process from the orchestrator. So now we are successfully able to execute the process from the orchestrator. So we created a process in Studio whose job is to extract the data. Then we provided 3 input arguments and 1 output argument, and the process is now running from the orchestrator. Now here what I can do is I can schedule the process from here. I can go to the automations and then we can have a trigger, but whenever we specify a trigger we have to specify the time or a queue based scheduling. Okay, so if you don't understand the time and the queue based scheduling, I have a dedicated video on my playlist which describe all those things. So just a high level, so whenever I schedule a job I have to provide some parameters, but if you remember our requirement, we don't have a specific time, right? When I say specific time, we are not sure that at which time we should schedule the process, right? Whether it's a monthly process, daily process, and we cannot apply the queue based scheduling as well, right? So how we can trigger the process when we have such scenarios? So as of now you will see we have addressed the problem statement of the persistent storage where the data is getting stored in the UiPath data services and we are not storing the data anywhere intermittently. Okay, so now we have the last problem statement where we have to deal with the scheduling and the running of the process. So for that what we have to do is we have to create an app in the UiPath technology stack. So how do we create an app? So we again go back to data services. So what exactly a app will do is we will have an app from the UiPath apps. This app will be hosted in the browser. Whenever we run this app, it will trigger the process in the automation and the entity will be filled up and we will get the respective data, right? So let's see how we can create an app in UiPath. Okay, so we can go to the, so to start with we first come to the cloud platform. So this is how the cloud platform will look like. So this is the same place where we have enabled the data services for us. So just above the data services we have something called apps. I click on that and it will navigate to the app studio where we can design our app. It is very easy to design the apps here. So you will see there is a button called create new. I clicked on the app and now we have to give an app name. So I will just name my app to currency converter app, create. Okay, so now this is a user interface where I can drag and drop the controls to make the app a little more user friendly. I can add controls, so I'll just go here expand it. So I think this size would be good. Okay, so the first thing is, let's go here, add a control. We want to add a label. Okay, we have to drag and place it here. So I just rename this to something called header. So welcome to the currency converter application, I would say. Voila. Okay, and next we would require three input arguments, right? So for that I require three text boxes and three labels. So what I'll quickly do is I'll go here, add new control, I'll type label, drag and drop the label, and I will rename this label to something called first source date. Okay, source date would make more sense. Then I require a text box where I can provide the value. Okay, so I go here and drag and drop a text box. So we can do all the formattings. I am not right now working on the formatting, so we have lot of option here. We can provide the styles, background color, everything. So that is not part of this tutorial. So next I take one more control, and next we need a label. Okay, I call this destination date, and E will be small, destination date. Okay, and add new control. I want a text box for the destination date, and we want one more control, that is the label, and this label will have the name as currency. So if you remember, we require three inputs, right? So source date, destination date, and the currency. And to store the currency we require one more text box. Okay, and currency text box. So now what will happen is user will come to this. I'll just make it a little center. Let's go to style. Okay, this makes more sense. So welcome to the currency converter application. User will provide a source date, destination date, currency, and whenever the input is okay, what the user have to do, he has to click on the button, right? So for that we require a button. Okay, so this is a button, and in the button we have even something. So what we want to have, whenever the user click on the button, we want the output to be displayed, right? So to accommodate the output we require a new control. So I'll take a label here. Okay, and this label will be responsible for printing the output. I'll just remove this default text. Okay, so now our app is ready. So this is how it is easy to create an app in the UiPath apps platform. So next thing is we can always go ahead and preview this. Okay, it's loading, and so this is how the app will look like. So we can provide the source date, we can provide the destination date, currency. We click on the button, and as of now it is not binded to the process orchestrator, so it's not working. But this is how this app will work. Okay, so the next thing is we have to do is we have to publish this. So I'll just make it a little smaller. Think this is okay. We can always come to each and every property, and we have a lot of option here. We can provide the stylings, everything, and there is a lot more to explore in the UiPath apps. So now once the preview is okay, what we can do is we can publish the app and it will be available. Okay, so it says app published successfully. Now let's go back to the home, and if I again go to the apps, so this app will be available here in the app studio. Now what we can do is we can always go ahead and click on this pencil icon to edit the app. We can go ahead and press this play button and see a version that how the app exactly looks like. So what we have to do is we have to provide the source date here, we have to provide the destination date, currency, and when we hit this button we should get the output. But as of now this process is not connected to the orchestrator, hence we are not getting the output here. So That is all for this video here. So in this video what we have seen is were successfully able to run the process from the orchestrator by defining the parameters. The input and the output both were successfully set, and we were able to set the input arguments, and then we were able to get the output as well. Next, we have created an currency converter app with the help of UiPath Apps platform, and we were successfully able to preview that one also. In the next video what we are going to see is, that would be the final video in this series, where we will convert this UiPath app to the UiPath orchestrator, and then we'll see the end-to-end process working in one go. So that is all for today. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, and happy automation.